Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe where we help and heal one day at a time. So sometimes we start feeling guilty for our narcissists. We know they've told us their past history. We've seen their interactions with their family. So we start to have this guilt that maybe we weren't understanding. We tried to show them love. Unfortunately, love makes them uncomfortable. But should we feel sorry for our narcissist? Because we start thinking maybe they couldn't help it. Maybe they had to lash out. Maybe they had to do this. All day I've had this one little hair. So we start feeling sorry for them. But we got to look at it in a different way. We're going through a lot of emotions, trying to heal, trying to understand. And guilt is a hard thing for us to go through because I don't want you guys to feel the guilt, because I want you to look at all the times that you tried, all the things you tried to change or compromise on or understand. So feeling sorry for the narcissist is not healthy. It's enabling them. And even if you're not with them, when you start to feel sorry for someone, it should be a reason. If somebody's homeless, you should be, compassionate towards them. You should try to understand it. But the person burnt their house down on purpose. Now they're homeless. Do you really feel sorry for somebody who destroyed their safety net? You could be like, that was crazy. I'm not going to feel sorry for somebody who had a beautiful house. They had enough money to pay for it. So it's not like an insurance scam or anything like that. You got to look at things realistically. So this narcissist had a good relationship. If it wasn't meant to be, they should have been kind and broken up with you, because sometimes, we thought we were compatible, but we're not, or different expectations. But they don't care enough to often acknowledge us. Sometimes you guys, it blows up in a fight and they're like, screw you, I'm out. So you do know a lot of times they do ghost, and a lot of people are left like, what's going on? I think my first ex acknowledged it because I lived in the house. My second ex, I did not live with him. So he could just ghost. He didn't have to worry like, how am I going to get her out? So to feel sorry for a narcissist, if I accidentally say, oh, look over there, and I hit you in the face, and I start feeling really bad about it, like, I'm having these emotions, maybe you can be like, that's okay, like, I understand it was not, please calm down, don't be so upset, I know it was an accident. But if I punch you in the face and you feel sorry because I'm frustrated and I'm punched you in the face, really for no reason, like I thought it might be funny, or you told me not to, so I keep doing it. To feel sorry for somebody who knows what they're doing. Sometimes, like I keep saying, it's sometimes off the cuff. It's just part of their personality now because they've done it for decades. But they're adults. And, they can't relate to the things because they don't have the empathy. But just like through society, we might not understand, like, why do I have to wait at a red light? If we're not educated on that, we don't get it, that it's to avoid accidents, to know who goes when, just for the safety. But if we're not seeing it, but we know that that's what we need in order to have our driver's license, like, we can go through the motions. It makes it easier when you play it a little safer when because not to run a red light because you had the knowledge. So the narcissist knows what is expected in a healthy relationship. They just know. They're not dumb. They want that knowledge of why they have to change, and they can't get it. It's almost like the instructions are in a different language. So they're trying to process, like, why do I have to change? It's working for me. They also sometimes don't care if it's working for them. They don't want to change it. Why change something that's working? But that's where it gets hard, is it's working for them. If they had empathy, they would see that the other side, the other half of the relationship, it's not working. And we're trying to express that. And when we express it, they take it personally that they're a failure, or that they're not good enough, or they do everything wrong. They take it as a narcissistic injury now. So they lash back out on us. And to feel sorry for somebody who sometimes purposely gets into a relationship to literally take everything they can, where they don't even care about the person. They know the person has money. They know they don't have to work. They know this, they know that. Sometimes narcissists will do that to where they have zero desire um, to be with you as a person. But other narcissists really do enjoy us, are drawn to us, but it's to take what they can get. Um, so to feel sorry for somebody who over time you will see, did they really care about you, or did they care about what they got from you? And you'll be able to, it's sad, but you don't realize it till it's hindsight's 2020. The new supply doesn't have that hindsight yet. So it's going to come. That's going to come. But we have this hindsight and we can look back, like how many times we tried to work things out, or, you know, we did something nice. Was it appreciated or cut down? Or, you know, are we feeling sorry for somebody who was a spoiled brat? Are we feeling sorry for somebody who, just like that red light thing, it's like, you know what the boundaries are, you know what is expected. You might not understand it, but for it to work, whether it's driving or the relationship, in order for it to work, whether you understand it or not, that's what's needed. But they're all like, if I don't understand it, I'm not going to do it. Could you imagine if, let's say, narcissists driving were like, screw it, I don't understand why we have to stop at a red light, I'm not going to. All the destruction that would happen. And that's where they're at in a relationship. It's just like narcissists driving through red lights because they don't understand it. Well, you don't understand it, but it's going to lead to destruction. You're going to have to trust me that it's going to lead to destruction. They don't want to hear it. They don't take the time. And that can be, I mean, look how deadly to the relationship it'll be is luck of the draw. Just like going through a red light, luck of the draw. You get away with it. Sometimes it's a fender bender. Sometimes it's a deadly head-on collision, or loss of limb. The amount of destruction depends on who they're hit by, who the new supply is, how bad the dynamics get, how much the new supply or you were willing to tolerate. So to feel sorry for somebody who is just going to totally disregard what is normal, whether they understand it or not. You know, they can even, you would think they could even just look at other people like, oh, that person cheated and their relationship fell apart. Narcissists think that they underestimate us. So they think they're so slick and sly that we're not going to catch on to them. And they get caught up in the moment. So sometimes they don't even care, or sometimes they'll purposely do it to make us jealous or to regain control. Like, well, if you gave me more attention, I wouldn't be doing it. And that's not fair to do to us, to where, we're not allowed to have boundaries, that they feel so entitled that at the drop of a hat, if our stomachs are upset and or have a headache, or we got to take the kids to ballet, that it's just not possible right now. It's not that we don't want to be with them. It's just now's not a good time. And then they'll get all pouty because they feel entitled. And to feel sorry for somebody who doesn't take your true words, if you're like, no, I'm really sorry, but I really have a headache, to get pissed off that you're hurting. Some people play it, some people lie to get out of it, but hopefully you were in something where you guys are truly attracted to each other. A lot of times narcissistic relationships do have a strong attraction. There's a lot of chemicals going on. We got our brains overactive, their brains overactive, so the bonding feels like a true connection. But a lot of times that bond comes that we're getting attention. They're doing extra special things for us sexually because they want that adoration, that they're the superstar, the best lover. So it seems like they're doing it for us, but they're doing it for them. That's why a lot of times they'll want you to orgasm and you know, it's to stroke their ego, not to make sure. And they'll tell you, you know, it's, oh, I'm all about the woman, or watch out for that, because they are attentive, but it's for different reasons. It's hard to see what their true intentions are. But look outside the bedroom, and look at the kind things that they did. You know, who was it for? You know, and how many times did they turn it around on you, to where you weren't appreciated, even when you tried? I mean, there's times you make mistakes, you know, let's say, I don't know, you bought them a new jacket, and instead of yelling at you, that's not what they wanted, you know, they could talk kindly, like, oh, that was really sweet of you, but you know, I don't like red. Could we exchange it? Instead of yelling at you or cutting you down when you're trying to do something nice. And you know, there's times we get all excited, like, oh, I think they really like this, it's on sale, I'm going to grab it. And so we're all excited and we're doing something because we care about them. And they don't see that, like, I get it, you're excited, but there's no way I'm wearing it. Can we just exchange it? Instead of like taking all our happiness from us. Like, look at how many times you just started out with a good day and out of the blue, you're like, what just happened? How did this turn around like this? Sometimes it's due to little triggers that'll happen. Other times, it's just out of the blue. And it's just, they are that uncomfortable in themselves. They're always going to carry that. They will always carry it because they will never have a true connection with somebody. And you know, that's the part I think where we start to struggle is the more we learn, the more we're like, wow, they have actual brain damage. Like, how can you be mad at somebody for not being capable, you know? But that is like a really hard one. But this is where I hope it helps you is, you know, just like the driver going through a red light, they kill somebody, and for them to go, I didn't understand. I didn't understand. And we're like, we know you didn't understand why, but you killed somebody because of it. Like, you knew because we told you the destruction that can happen. Like, they've been told, if you cheat, this happens. If you're rude, this happens. They've been told it. They might not understand it, but are you going to feel sorry for somebody going through a red light when they didn't understand why the rule was there? The rule is there. We told you it could lead to death or car accidents. So you don't get it. You don't green, yellow, red, like what? But they know the rules. They know the possible outcome. And that's why I don't want you to feel sorry for them, because if you told somebody, don't go through a red light, this can happen. And you're like, oh, they just didn't understand. Like they knew what the rules were, but they just didn't quite get it. Or they kind of thought maybe or green's a prettier color. Maybe I should stop at green and go when it's red. Your thought process doesn't matter. You know, you can't justify away, you know, often a distance away, to say that, you know, I just thought it made more sense because green's prettier, or just in a relationship. I just thought, you know, if I slept with someone, you'd be jealous of me and want me again. Well, we told you what was going to happen. We told you that's not how it works. You don't understand it. You get it twisted in your mind. Doesn't make it functional. There's times when we're not going to understand things in life, whether you're empathetic, narcissistic, psychopathic, sociopathic, whoever you are, you're not going to understand all these rules. But that's how society functions. That's how relationships function. So don't feel sorry. They're trying to justify away how destructive they are to people. They've been told. So you can kind of feel sorry. They might not quite get it, but it's that devastating, like causing a car accident, that you can't feel sorry for the person that did that. they are capable of following expectations. They just care not to. So I hope this hits home because, you know, it's a struggle sometimes. Like, you know, they seem so nice sometimes, and then yeah, they were a jerk, but that's that cognitive dissonance going on, where we're trying to justify things. We take a little known fact, or two conflicting things, and we word circle it around, where it's like, uh you know, they punched me but they just wanted to get my attention because they gave me flowers, so they must like me, but they punched me and yelled at me, and trying to justify everything and pulling from what we want to believe in a person, not from what the reality is. So we struggle with our own reality because they took our reality away. We don't know how to think um the right way. We justify things in the wrong way sometimes. We don't have that hindsight until we really look at it. That's where you guys are healing now, because you're learning. You are learning. You're looking at red flags, and understanding it more is like, you know, why do we fall apart? We fell apart because we were disrespected. We weren't appreciated. We weren't allowed to talk. We weren't allowed to communicate. We thought we were in a love connection when that's what they hate, you know? So we're trying to see, because in the love bombing stage, it feels real. It feels real. But when we settle into the relationship, you know, people let their guards down a little bit more. People take advantage of people that, you know, they think are their partner in life. It's almost like you should have a security. Like if my car breaks down and I'm 2 hours away, I'm not married, but I should feel like my husband will come get me, you know. And then with the narcissist, they might get irritated by that. Now there's times, you know, we might be like, oh my gosh, I'm just so tired. Like, you know, but we're not going to get angry at the person, you know. We're going to understand that they need a ride, even though we're tired, or, oh, I didn't expect to have to do that today. I got to put, how am I going to rearrange my schedule? But they'll get angry at us. And then we might, you know, have some feelings like, oh, that's going to be a hassle. But I don't think we usually get angry at them when things go wrong. We help them through it. But the narcissist, they're so different. And should we feel sorry for somebody who knows what they're doing is wrong, knows that, you know, these self-aware narcissists, or ones that are in counseling, they're aware of, they have enough knowledge to follow the rules. They have enough knowledge. So to feel sorry for somebody who is just taking and taking and taking, that's why sometimes, I mean, in a sense, you gotta give them credit that they'll give us something out of obligation, but that kind of hurts our hearts if we know the true meaning behind it. You know, because if I just like throw a gift in your face, I'm like, there, it's your birthday. Guess I'm obligated to give you it because you gave me something. That's not gonna feel good. But if I was like, oh, I thought about you, and I thought, you know, what's your favorite hobby? So I got this, and is this cool? Like I really thought of you. And but the intention behind everything is what hurts. That's where your pain is coming from, is the true intention. Just like if I gave you a gift and I'm like calling my friend and you overhear it, and I'm like, I can't stand this person, but you know, they got me a nice gift. I feel obligated, so I'm stuck here at the party. Can't wait to leave. Food's good, you know, the food's good, but you know, like that hurts. And that's what we feel, is like, wow, okay, you gave me something, but your intentions were totally different, and it kind of destroys you. And you want to feel sorry for somebody who either felt obligated to you, or somebody who took from you, somebody who knew the way relationships need compromise, and they don't care. So they might not be able to feel the actual empathy, but that's their realm. Let's say they're stuck in that realm forever. They will never feel empathy. They will always be alone. That's their reality. Make it the best reality you have. Just like if you don't have legs, you know, let's say there's no prosthetics, you know, you're never going to walk. Okay. They're missing something. They can either lay in bed or they can find solutions to make it the best reality that they can have. And they choose to destroy their reality, just like a person without legs, no prosthetics available. They can either wallow in their pity, yell at people, or they can ask people to help them. They could, you know, maybe there's wheelchairs so they can still get out and enjoy life, or certain things. You deal with your reality. So to feel sorry for somebody uh, within their reality, you know, my dad lost his leg, and you know, he's such a good guy. You know, I feel sorry that he went through that, because uh, the most kindest man in the world. Like it's so sad. Like he really is amazing. Um, but he got a prosthetic, and I know it hurts. I'm a burn victim. I know how scars can hurt. But he was not willing to try to walk with the prosthetic. So you can kind of, you know, feel sorry for certain parts of it. Like you really didn't deserve it. It should be a medical malpractice for what happened. Also, how long it took to heal. It took a year and a half or so. It was terrible. I almost had to cut off more of it. You know, you feel bad for what they're going through, but when they're in that reality, to enable, uh, you know, oh, dad, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. When he was at that point that he could use the tools that would help him in life, where it's like you have a prosthetic, and you tell them, like, dad, the scars are going to be tender or sensitive. I've also broken legs. After you get a cast off, it feels kind of like pudgy, tingly, funky. You feel like you're walking on rocks. You can feel your bones in your foot because of the atrophy. It takes a little bit of time, sometimes like 2-3 days, for your foot to feel better, even though it's healed. So putting pressure on that knee stub, you know, I'm telling him your nerves are going to get used to it. It's going to get better. But, you know, you understand the pain. Like I can kind of relate to it because of the injuries I've been through, and scars, and getting that pressure back, the adjustment, the toughening of the skin. But to sit there and say, you know, to enable them, that's where being sorry for the narcissist is not going to help them. Is being sorry for my dad going to bring his leg back? No, it's going to enable him to stick and stay where he's at. So encourage them to do better. You know, if you're still dealing with your narcissist, you know, you got to be kind of hard, like keep your boundaries. That's why no contact is healthier, because a lot of times they don't listen. My dad didn't listen for the longest time. You know, he didn't have the trust it's going to get better. Also, they want to go through the pain. The narcissist doesn't want to go through pain. Their pain's different, you know, than a loss of a limb. But they can go through some physical pains. They can go through mental pain, just like we're going through physical and mental pain. But to enable them, it don't feel sorry. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel guilty when you tried everything you could do. Just like a doctor, if the doctor does everything they can do, they got to set it free. They can't feel guilty that everything they did and the person died. That's all they can do. And if you wallow in that guilt, imagine being a doctor. If every patient you lost, you felt guilty. Now, if you didn't do everything, there's guilt. That makes sense. But is your guilt really justified? You know, just, I don't know, if the, you know, the nurse tripped and the doctor accidentally stabbed the person while they're using the scalpel. That person's going to feel bad about it, but it was reactive, like something caused it. And just remember, with our relationship, something caused the destruction. So don't feel guilty for the destruction that you didn't cause. You can feel bad that it happened. Like, man, I wish that, like I could have saved that person. But don't put the guilt on you. Work through that. It's hard to sometimes, but just know in your heart, you know, that victims of narcissistic abuse are victims because they didn't cause that injury upon themselves. So that's how you become a victim. Something happened to you. You know, if you're the one that is creating it, you're not the victim, you're the perpetrator. So you're feeling sorry for the perpetrator when you were the victim. Don't wallow in self-pity, but if anybody deserves to have some sorry feelings, it's, you know, for your broken heart. But try to set that free, try to set the guilt free, and you know, go enjoy life. Look at it as being set free instead of being bound down to the chains of hell. You were set free. It hurt, but you were set free. Just like my dad when he lost his leg. Please listen to this. My dad when he lost his leg, if he could have kept that leg, it would have killed him. It was eating away. It was about to, you know, it was entering his bloodstream, and gangrene, gangrene spreads. That's what the narcissistic relationship is. It's going to spread. It's going to inch up more and more and more. Just like my dad losing his leg saved his life. So you losing your narcissist just saved your life. So please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day.